Go ahead, Joe. What did you say? You weren't going to do what? You don't remember. Joel Birmingham, the 7th grade. He said he was going to use the whole weekend to study for his math. All right, so what we're going to do today is we're going to review. You have your practice test, and I will walk you through problem by problem, and I'll record it so that if there's any issues, any questions, you can always go back over the weekend and check it out, right? Especially when you're studying on a Saturday evening, taking time out of your weekend to make sure you do well in your math test. Number 1, A, comma, B, comma, C are 3 collinear points. How do you label points? With capital letters. Okay. Number 2 wanted 2 non-collinear points. So you could pick any 2 that aren't on the same line. That could be A and E would work. Anyone have any other suggestions? Josiah. C and E. Good. Joe. BC would be collinear. DC. Okay. DC would be right. Okay, so you get the idea. Yeah? AD. Right. Those aren't on the same line. Number 3, 2 parallel lines. Okay? So we're looking at line AC. Is there anything else you could call line AC? You could call it BC. You could call it AB, as long as you have the arrow over the top. How many letters do we use to label a line? 2 and only 2. So line ABC would not qualify as a proper label for that line. So AC, and what's the only other one? Okay. Is it going to be wrong on the test if you don't have your labels? Absolutely. Okay, so you're being warned. If you don't have this, make sure that you get the right ones down in your notes. Name a segment that intersects AC. What segment intersects or crosses? What do we have? Yeah, go ahead, Cal. BD. And if it's a segment, I'm going to label it as a segment. Do not put arrows on that one. It doesn't ask what line, it asks what segment. Any questions on 1 through 4? How many got all 4 of them correct? Labels and everything? Good. Oh, then you get it right. 5, measure each angle with a protractor. This is important. So 5A, I will give you that I had something about 45 degrees. 5B was about 100 degrees. 5C was about 150. 5D is about 75. E is 105. And F was 25. Now, who remembers what I said before about being 100% accurate about your angle measurements? What did I say about that before? Sydney? As long as it's close. So a 45, I'd accept anything probably 40, 50, somewhere between there. Anybody have anything different than that? You had 60? Why would you ask if you didn't have it? Didn't you say what about 60? Does that sound like a question? Did you start? Usually you start a question with the word what. Yeah, well, that's what you said. Why would you ask if you didn't have it? I don't either. More wind, more air coming out of you. Unnecessary. No, I didn't say that. Okay, so somewhere in the same neighborhood. 60 might be a little bit too much, Keith, since you were asking, right? All right, so yeah, I mean, and the other thing too is you've got like B here that's 100. if you tell me it's 80, then it's totally off because you go from having an obtuse angle to labeling it as an acute angle. That can't happen. You weren't going to ask me that. Or you were. You were, see? For E, what did you have? Yeah, see, that would be on the other side. That would not be accurate. Thanks for asking, though. Way to be on top of it. Anything on there? If you don't have a protractor, you need to get one. Okay. 6, wanted all of the obtuse angles. Yes? Now, if you look carefully, after you did number 5, whatever angle that was, you could go ahead and put that down as one of your obtuse angles. What was it? What was B? FGC? Is it wrong if you don't have the little angle sign in front?
Yeah.
Yes, so make sure you put it down. What else was obtuse? C and E. So C was AGE. And E was BGE. Any other ones that we did not get to? FGB. FGB is one. AGD. And then there's one more. CGD? No. AGD, we got. AGE, we got. FGC, we got. FGB, BGE. There's only 5. There's only 5. Did I say there were 6? Good. Good, so we got it. Okay, any questions about 6? The big one's 7, isn't it? Or no? So again, I've got all these other measurements up here that will also qualify as acute angles. So let me write down the acute angles for number 7. AGB, AGC, FGD, FGE, BGC, CGD, DGE, CGE, and BGE. Now remember, as long as your, well, G is going to be the vertex for all of them. Keep in mind, though, like FGD and DGF are the same angle. So you can't write it again and be like, well, that's a different angle. No, it's the same. So you got to make sure that they're actually finding different angles. What did you have to do? Did anyone get all of them? You got to twist, you got to turn, you got to look at everything and try to make sure that you can find all of the acute angles. On your test, there will also be a good number of them. Now, it'll be based on points. So if I say that there's 8 and you get 7, you'll miss for not having that 8. You're not going to miss the entire thing. You'll receive partial credit and you'll receive most of the credit, but you won't get full credit if you don't provide the full answer. And then, number 8 is all the straight angles, and that's AGF, or FGA, same thing. All right? Any questions there? That's the huge part of the test. From numbers 5 through 8, there'll be a lot of points there. So if there's one part of this test you really want to make sure you got down, is this part. Because it's going to be worth a lot of points. Anything else before we move on to 9 through 12? 9 through 12, find the complement and the supplement of each measure. So you need both parts. If you don't have both, you will not get full credit. So for number 9, 33 and 123. 10, 58 and 148. 11 is 11 and 101. And 12 is 84 and 174. 13 through, 18? They gave you the measurements, and then you had to say whether it was complementary, supplementary, or neither. So 13 was supplementary, right? 14 was neither. 14 was neither. Because 14, you want to fix that. That's 100. Not 90. Look like 90, but that's how they get you. 15 is supplementary, 16 is complementary, 17 was neither, and 18 was neither. Good. 19. 19 is a right triangle. 20, obtuse triangle. 21, acute. 20 was obtuse triangle. Obtuse. Now, 22 through 24. These were all possible. Oh boy. So an acute scalene would be making sure that all of your angles are acute and making sure that none of the sides look like they're the same. I don't know if that looks like they're the same or not. That looks like a big Dorito, right? 23 is a right isosceles triangle. So you want to try to make sure that those sides are the same. Those sides, which is possible in a right triangle. I would say you're going to really impress me if it asks for a right triangle and you give me this. Okay, good, good. Because then that shows at least you know what a right angle is. And if you give me these marks, then at least you're telling me that, hey, I know that an isosceles triangle has two congruent sides, and even though it might not look like it, this is what I was trying to do. You're going to be fine with me. That's going to be fine. Okay? So if you don't have that, if you don't have those marks, if you don't have the right angle symbol here, put that down, like right now on your sheet so that you know and remember that. An obtuse scalene. So here's what could have had something like that. Because in here would be your obtuse angle. Definitely this side isn't the same as this one or that one. You know, so if it's close on your test, again, I'm not an art teacher. I wouldn't claim to be, but you have to at least show me some knowledge that you know what these vocab terms are. And you'll show me that by the way your triangle looks. 25, 26, name each polygon according to the number of sides. 25 has 6 sides, that makes it a hexagon. 26, octagon. 27 is a, what? Parallelogram. Yep. By its, name each quadrilateral. And 28 would be a rectangle. 27 is a parallelogram. What's a rhombus? It has 4 congruent sides. Do all those sides look the same to you? No. The 4x4 word square. A unit of mass for A is a gram. B, not often, would be rare. Arts and crafts. And disorder is mess, right? We did some of those already. I know we did gram, and I know we did rare. Tell whether they're congruent, similar, or neither. How about 30? Similar. Similar means same shape, different. 31. Neither. 32. Do the figures below have line symmetry for the dashed line shown? So, right underneath A, Kishana, is that trapezoid. If you were to fold that trapezoid on that dotted line, would they match up?
Oh.
No. How about in the word heed? Yes, they would. Okay. Yeah. Heed my warning. Listen, be aware of it. Obey. Acknowledge. 34, how many lines of symmetry does a square have? 4.
I knew it. 4.
4. Very similar to what we did before when we had we had a regular pentagon. Regular pentagon has 5 sides. If it's a regular pentagon, which means all sides and angles are the same, it had 5 lines of symmetry. A square, there's only one way to make a square with all sides and angles congruent. Therefore, you're going to have 1 and another 1 and then 2 more diagonally, which will give you the 4. 4. How many lines of symmetry does the hexagon have at the right? Right, because it's 6, because it is a regular hexagon where all the sides are the same and the angles are the same, you'll get 6. So same number of sides will be the same number of lines of symmetry. Then draw the lines of symmetry. So when they say draw the lines of symmetry, they'll want you to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So they'll go, each of them go through the sides, and they'll each go through the middle of the sides, and they'll each go through each point, each corner. 36. Draw a reflection of the figure. Sure. Yep. Yeah, right now. Yeah. You're still talking though. Very good. Yep. So the feet are pointing to the right instead of pointing to the left, right? Feet here. Right. SpongeBob. And then 36B is you're going to have this same note on its side. So it should be on its side like that. This is the way it should be if they ask you specifically for a 90-degree rotation. Now, if it's upright and you went this way, that's fine. But if you went this way with the feet pointing down, that would also work as well. It's usually rotate. I think the general rule is they want you to rotate things clockwise. You know how a clock goes, right? Clockwise. Everything's digital nowadays. No one knows how to read a regular clock. All right. Anything else before we wrap up? So we'll test on Monday. Through your rigorous study over the weekend, if you come across something that you're still not sure of on Monday morning and you want to, ask a question about it, we might have 5-10 minutes in the beginning to try to address anything that's, troublesome. Okay?